Hi guys, we've been playing Generation Zero, which is an 80s survival game. It doesn't come out till next year, but the developers have sent me some keys for the closed beta, which is fantastic. So big thank you to the developers. And I've handed a few out to some of my patrons, and we've been having a bit of a play in it today and yesterday. You don't get a lot in the game, but it's a 4-player co-op, or you can play it single player. Just to give you an idea of how big the beta is, you can see the map here that we've been allowed to play on, but when I zoom out you can see that it's a hell of a lot bigger. So we've only just kind of touched on a little bit of the combat, a little bit of the content, and I'll tell you what it's like. I did mention this at E3. This was mentioned in one of my E3 videos. I like the look of it. It's like I say, it's set in the 80s, which is my favourite decade, in Sweden, and it's a survival game. Now I do like some survival games, and this is kind of a weird one because the whole way the story is when you go on a fishing trip or something, and when you come back everybody's gone. And there's these mechs roaming around the place. There's the only 3 types of mechs that I've seen are these little like dog mechs, which are really fast, and if they hit you in the face, like if they actually charge at you, they can almost one-shot you, but they've also got a machine gun on them as well. So they'll just kind of stand and blast, then they'll run for cover, then they'll blast a bit more, then they'll run. The AI is not exactly brilliant, but you know, they do maneuver around, making it awkward for you to hit. But the main awkwardness is because of the clunky gunplay that there is at the minute. I'm hoping they will fix, well, they're bound to make it a bit better. It's still in very early release. It's in closed beta, this, so that, you know, they're not even ready for the open beta yet. There's a lot of work to be done on this, a lot of polish needs doing on this. But coming back to the combat, the gunplay is clunky, there's no doubt about it. It doesn't look the best either, graphics are a bit shit. But this is a cool thing they've got with the actual enemy. You blow parts of them off, like as you're shooting these mechanical things, you blow parts of the limbs off and stuff like that. And if you back out of a fight after you've done damage to it, that mech will keep the damage that you've done. It can't repair itself, and so if you bump into it later on in the game, it'll have that same damage done to it, which is a cool thing. As you kill things, you level up, and you put skill points into 4 different trees. The basic kind of trees, one's for guns, one's for like lock picking. You've got stuff that can make you run faster, your stamina bar refresh faster, your loot capacity can be increased. There's all that kind of stuff, lock picking and all the rest of it. This kind of typical survival stuff. You don't have anything to eat or drink in this. It's not that type of survival game, which is kind of nice. I am sick of eating 24 chickens just to stay alive while I go to sleep. So it's nice that we have a game that doesn't require that. This game is about looting. There's shit tons to loot. Every house has loot bags, and they're called loot crates, which I think is a bad choice, mate. You don't have anything in games now called loot crates. It will be frowned upon. You need to change that. So, but they are actually called loot crates that you go into houses and find. Could be guns, could be ammo, could be clothing. 80s clothing, guys. You got 80s clothing. Makes you look like a porn star, but you know, you get the mullet, you get the aviators on there, you get the ridiculously bright red leather jackets and all of that. You know, it's just, I'm still looking for a pair of red pods to go with me blue jeans, like. But I live in hope. I've got my digital Casio watch, yeah. And you find a shitload of ammo and different weapons. You got shotguns, which I put a scope on. It's kind of weird. A rifle, which I've got a scope on as well. You get attachments. You get silencers. I've got a silencer on my pistol. There's machine guns, old Swedish Army 1989 machine guns. There's assault rifles as well. There's hand grenades. I haven't come across anything else, but there's all of them things there. So you do get fairly armed to the teeth with this, which is nice. You need it because there's a lot of enemies roaming around. There's little drones that snitch on you if they see you. They're like little flying drones. They locate you. And then there's these big things, these big like 2-legged mech things. We only encountered one, and then my mother rang just as I'd hid behind a rock, and one of us pulled the mech and it started attacking us, and I was on the phone to my mother while one of us was getting hammered by the mech. I did get a couple of shots in, but then when I got off the phone I was like, "Mother, man, there's a mech attacking." "Yeah, but what are we doing for tea? Are you coming over for tea?" "Yes, fucking mech attacking us." And I put the phone down, and I got a couple of shots off it, but I just heard their screams and thought, I'm running, so I just ran and hid in the back of a lorry. And it's good because you get out of combat, you get rewarded for getting out of combat. You can stealth around the place by crouching. It's very atmospheric, this game. It is clunky. It's clunky like in the combat. The gunplay is not brilliant. You loot things in a kind of holding down the mouse button or the controller button as the bar fills up, War Z type, you know. and it's clunky. It's clunky sometimes trying to, you have to position it all till the bar appears. I don't like all that. I'm sure that's all just going to get, it needs loads of polish, guys. It's all going to get polished out, I'm convinced. They're not going to release it like this. This is why you have the beta, and this is why this isn't a review either. This is just a preview of what I've played in the closed beta. So it's got a long way to go, but I'm going to follow this because I like the look of this game. It has that atmosphere that I like, just roaming around the forest, looking for the hunter's house, which I never found, and just finding different things, stumbling across a community, a farm, going in there, finding that the local residents have hid in a bunker, and we never see anybody yet, so we haven't found out what's actually happened to them all, but there's little clues, so you're a bit of a detective work. There's a map that shows you everything, where, well, the topography of the land and stuff, and there is fall damage in this, quite realistic kind of compared to other games anyway. It's not totally realistic, but you do hurt yourself if you fall, but there's plenty of first aid scattered around. I've enjoyed myself playing it just for the few hours that I have until we kind of pretty much finished the beta now. There's a little bit more to do that we have to do, but it's got a lot of bugs in it. I've just lost all my progress, and so I don't think I'll be going to do it again. It kind of sucks when you do all that and you got your arm to the teeth and you have to go, and then you try to play it again and there's no progress there, and there's no save button. It's supposed to save as you come out, I think, but it just didn't. Sometimes it does. It seems it's all bugged at the minute, but you know, that's the nature of a closed beta. It's going to be buggy, but it's one to watch. It's called Generation Zero. It comes out in 2019. Hopefully I'll get to play it again when it's a little bit more polished, and I can give you an updated preview on the preview, and then a full review when it does release sometime next year. So there you go, guys. That was a preview of Generation Zero, an open world Swedish 80s game.